Steve recently sent in an email asking what can he do, ironically, when he becomes sick or injured. And I think this is a great sign of all of you watching these videos and trying to get a little bit more out of yourself every day. As you hear me refer to, the rule of 1%. Try to be better at something every day by 1%. Steve's question is right on the money, especially when we get injured or sick, because our brain tends to be our worst enemy. We're convinced that our competition's leaving us in the dust. We're losing all of the fitness that we've built over the last 6 to 12 months. What I always want to encourage our clients to do, and I encourage you to do the same thing, is focus on what you can control. Ironically, it is the non-sweating components of performance that hold us back on race day, which are exactly what you can focus on when you're down with an injury or an illness. For example, I've got a video on diaphragmic breathing. I'll put a link in the description box below, but learning how to diaphragmically breathe, utilizing this very powerful muscle underneath your rib cage, particularly when you're in a fight or flight situation, i.e. a race situation, enduring a difficult workout, high intensity racing. What I want you to do is optimize the time that you can't quote unquote actively train. Focus on learning how to breathe. Now think about the irony in this. When you learn how to focus on your breathing, you will be able to perform better. So you just took a negative situation and made it better. Heaven forbid that you're down with an injury or an illness. How about picking up some more hours of sleep? As we have a mantra saying, if we don't give the body what it wants, it'll take what it needs. And unfortunately, when you get sick, what does your body do? You feel very sluggish and lethargic. It literally forces us into naps during the day. Usually, if we're staying home from work or school, what do? We pretty much sleep all day long. While you're home, focusing on your breathing and your sleep, how about dialing in your nutrition? Please don't make it worse on yourself by eating junk food. The lack of nutrient density in the garbage food is going to slow down recovery from an injury. When you're under the influence of a virus, you've got to starve the virus. Viruses live on simple sugars. If you want to test the theory, go get a petri dish, take a droplet of water that has just a tad bit of sugar in it, put it underneath a heating lamp. The next day when you show up, you'll have mold. That's how quickly sugar turns into mold. Well, if you're under the influence of a virus, starve it. Don't give it any simple sugars, and that includes processed foods. When you look at breathing, you look at sleeping, you look at eating, what about soft tissue? Taking an Epsom salt bath has a tremendous amount of benefits. Most of us are familiar with the idea that the magnesium that we absorb out of the Epsom salt has been proven to cause muscle relaxation. It actually facilitates sleep. So what about foam rolling? What about contrast therapy, the use of hot and cold? If you have a foam roller, maybe a Roll Recovery R8, all this is in the under the umbrella of soft tissue maintenance. Now let's go back to race day. Let's go to your high quality workouts. What are the elements that are going to positively influence that workout and or race? Being rested, being fed, being hydrated, and having optimized biomechanics, also known as range of motion or flexibility. And that's how quickly just an attitude adjustment, a slight paradigm shift in the way you approach being injured or sick can take a negative and turn it into a positive. I'm not trying to be the eternal optimist, but unfortunately you're sick and or ill, or injured. So let's make the best of it. Control what you can control. And as I said earlier, they don't even require sweating. So take that to heart the next time you feel yourself getting under the weather, or you find yourself with an impact injury or even a broken bone or surgery. It's unfortunate, but let's make the best of it. Let's shorten the life of it. Let's shorten the life of the recovery window, and let's shorten the life of the virus. Thanks, Steve, for the question. If you happen to have a question, please feel free to send it in to me. contact@coachrob.com. Here on YouTube, we're answering a question today, and we look forward to answering your question as well. Thank you for giving me the time today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.